Welcome back. We'll start with the new topic, that is lighting. So first, what is lighting? A good lighting is essential for effective vision and puts lesser the strain, increasing working efficiency. So it is good for the better vision and it decreases the strain on the eye during the work. Certain factors are there for the light. Those are sufficiency, distribution, absence of glare, absence of sharp shadows, steadiness, color of light, and surroundings. Let's see one by one. First one, sufficiency. That is sufficient amount of the light required for the direct vision. Okay, like it should be sufficient enough to enable the eye to discern the details of the object as well as the surrounding. So in general, illumination of 15 to 20-foot candles is a basic minimum, but it may differ from 5 to 100-foot candles in industries. Second one, distribution. It should be uniform. The light should be uniformly distributed and it should have same intensity over the whole field of work. Okay, there should not be any breakage in the light field. Third one is absence of glare. Glare is excessive contrast which may be direct from a light source or a reflected glare. Glare means it's a high contrast light which is focused on the eye directly from the source or reflected. It causes discomfort and reduces the critical vision. Okay? It will be strainful for the eyes. Fourth one, absence of sharp shadows. If you are focusing on an object, the direct shadow falls on the floor. That is called a strong shadow. Okay, there should not be any sharp shadows. Fifth one is steadiness. Source should be constant to avoid eye strain. This color of light is not very important as long as the intensity is adequate. It should be soothing to the eyes. The smooth light should be present. Okay. Next, surroundings. For effective vision, color schemes in the room are important. Like black object is difficult to identify in a dark background. So you can use either light object or light background. So there are reflection changes. If the light is falling on the ceilings or the roofs, there will be 80% reflection. If it is falling on the walls, 50 to 60% reflection. If it is falling on the furniture, it is 30 to 40% reflection, and floor it is less than 15 or till the 20% reflection will be present. And contrast colors can be used to prevent accident. So it will be well visualized, so there will be no accident. There are certain light measurement unit. You may be knowing this in the physics. You have studied, I guess. Brightness of point source. It's a description which is identified by the unit candela. Okay. The quantity measured in name is luminous intensity, and other unit can be used as candle power. And there are flow of light, amount of light reaching the surface, amount of light re-emitted by the surface. That means the reflected light. For this everything there is a unit like lumen for flow of light, lux for amount of light reaching surface, and lambert for amount of light re-emitted by surface. So moving to the lighting, there are two types: natural lighting and artificial. First, we'll see what is natural lighting. It derived partly from the sky and partly from reflection. Okay, it is directly by the sunlight or reflected light. It also depends upon the time of the day, season, weather, and atmospheric pollution. There are certain suggestions for the improvement of daylight illumination. First one is orientation. The brightness of the sky is not constant on the east and west, and therefore the illumination is subjected to variation in the building facing east or west. So if the house is facing the east or west, it is more illuminated day or in the evening. It is not equally distributed or equally illuminated. So everywhere the laboratories, factories, and schools will be facing north or the south for the equal illumination. That is what orientation means. Second, removal of obstructions. Whatever obstruction or the object which is acting as a barrier for the continuous lighting, so it should be removed. And the windows, if the window is very tall, there will be a direct sunlight, that is called penetration of light. Okay, direct penetration of light from the sky. If it is broader, okay, if it is broader window, there will be a good diffusion of light, means reflected light as well as the direct sunlight will be falling into the room. So they said that the window should not be less than 10% of the floor area comparing to the measurement. If you are using any curtains or a screen for which is acting as a barrier for the good illumination, then you should remove it. And interior of the room, the ceiling should be white, even the walls should be white, and the floor should be darkened color for the comfort of the eyes. Next, what is artificial lighting? There are 5 systems used in the artificial lighting. Those are direct, semi-direct, indirect, semi-indirect, and direct indirect. So what are those? We'll see. First one, direct lighting. That means all the 90 to 100% of the light is focused on the working area. Wherever you are working, the focus of the light will be falling on those object or those particular area. Okay, it should not be focused on the eyes because there will be a strain. Next, semi-direct, there will be 10 to 40% of the light is projected upwards and it is reflected back to the area or a object. That is semi-direct. Indirect means all the light is focused to the ceiling and it is reflected back to the working area. Semi-indirect, here 60 to 90% of the light is focused to the ceiling and the rest of the things downwards. Direct indirect means here light is distributed equally. There will be equal distribution of the lights. Next, methods of artificial lighting. Which are those methods you can use? First one is filament lamp and second one is tube light. That is also called as fluorescent lamp. In the filament lamp, that is tungsten bulb is used. Okay, here accumulation of the dust in those bulbs will reduce the illumination to the 30 to 40%. And fluorescent lamp, it is cool and uses less current, and whatever light emitted, which is equal to the natural light, sunlight. Okay. The lamps consist of glass tubes filled with mercury vapor and electrode fitted at each end. The inside of the tube is coated with fluorescent chemical which absorb practically all the ultraviolet radiation and remit the radiation in the visible range. So the lamp or the tube, whatever you are using, tube light, the inside it is mercury vapor and electrode is fitted each of the side, and inside there will be a coating of the chemical, fluorescent chemical, and which will avoid the ultraviolet radiation to come out. Okay. So when compared to the energy emitted from each bulb, you can divide like light and heat. In the filament, there will be 5% outage of light and heat 95%, and fluorescent 21% of light will be out and heat is 79%. So what is effect of light pollution? Light pollution is not like other pollution like air pollution, water pollution. Light pollution means increased use of light. So there is pineal gland in the brain which will produce the hormone called as melatonin. Okay, if you are not sleeping properly and continuous exposure to the light will lead to the decreased production of the melatonin. So why melatonin is important? It will boost the immune system, it lowers the cholesterol, and it is good for the cardiovascular system and biological rhythm, what we call sleep and wake cycle, and which will restore the night cycle. And if the person is not having the good production of melatonin, he will have the chronic fatigue. That is called effect of light pollution. So that's what about the lighting. We'll see in the next chapter. Thank you.